Hi, this is Kevin Zonner. In this short video, I'm going to share with you some things that I learned about collaborating long distance with Google Apps. In particular, I was working with another geography teacher on a geography of things collaborative activity. His class was actually a middle school level class, and my juniors were working on the project as well. So there's a lot of differences there. First of all, it's hard to find a teacher who's working on similar things. So I had to make some slight adjustments to the skills and the content that we're learning with my students, as I'm sure my colleague had to do the same. But I think this is what we want to be doing to get other perspectives and to do these projects a little more successfully in the future. But hey, here's what we learned or what I learned so far. First of all, the technology does not always work. We've tried to have Google Hangouts video conversations a few times. We've had one successful one, and the connection was okay, good enough to convey some things and share some documents and get things set up. Since then, we had scheduling issues. I said the technology doesn't work all the time. That's not totally true. The scheduling is tough, but through direct messages on Twitter and messages through Hangouts, we're able to get something done. So in the future, I definitely need to plan better for scheduling. Maybe set some deadlines, do like a map out the whole project or do a timeline for the project and move forward that way so that each classroom could contribute in their ways based on that timeline. So let's look at some of the things we did. First of all, at this screen right here, you have the geography of things, My Maps, Google My Map right here, which was in this folder, geography of things, shared with the other teacher. His class decided to do trampolines and researched the materials and locations of those materials and different companies that make those materials around. Speaking of schedules, there's the bell, right? So I have a limited amount of time to even finish this video. That's the life of a teacher, right? So ours was Lazy Boy, and this is our data right here. Now we used one form to collect the responses, and if you check out these responses, all of them went here. But then to separate them into two different places, I just opened up the response destinations and just made different sheets. Okay, you could have selected an existing sheet and put it all in one sheet and then renamed the tabs and all that, but I wanted to do two different sheets just to be able to upload those sheets as layers without any problems. So the first layer I did was this one right here, and it was 16 items. It was the Lazy Boy items. The next sheet we're going to upload here is the trampoline items, which looks like there's about 5 of those items. Okay, so my students are much older and a little bit more independent. I haven't talked to my colleague about why there's only 5 items, but I'd be curious to know. Maybe it was the design that he went about. Maybe he had some collaboration that yielded better results that I might do with my students. So that's the great thing about working with others and not putting too many stipulations. You can learn a lot from how other people do things, as well as how other students work. So, we don't know. There isn't a right or wrong way to do this. We're just doing it. So I'm actually going to upload that layer. So I'm going to do add layer and import. We can title the layer. The layer will assume the title of the sheet. We can change those titles later if we need to. I'm going to go to Google Drive and select recent and geography of things trampoline. And then it's going to ask me to choose the location. We're going to go by city. This might get a little tricky, but we can make adjustments later. And then the title, we'll go with item. It's going to title those markers. So it's importing all those things. So we have a bunch of stuff over here and some things over in so it's either in the United States or Australia, really, for these trampoline materials. Now I'm going to shut off the Lazy Boy layer so you can just see the trampoline stuff. Okay, so I'm going to look at one of these trampoline items. It was Melbourne, Brisbane, Australia. So I think this is actually wrong. Pretty sure the city of Melbourne is in Victoria. And I looked this up because the states are different here. So Melbourne is here. This is Victoria. Brisbane is actually not a state. It's a city. All right, in Queensland. So we go back to here and realize that there's Melbourne, and then I might have to change this to Victoria to make the data straight. Um, and Queensland, I ended up changing this one earlier and just forgot to go back and double check that one. Okay, so we got like nets, trampoline padding, coiled steel springs, trampoline padding again. Seems like the trampoline padding is coming from Australia. That's a pattern we might want our students to identify. And then metal rods, galvanized steel, Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. If we wanted to get into this even more, we might say like, in Cleveland, Ohio, where are they getting the zinc or whatever sort of mineral they're using to galvanize the steel? So you might want to dig into that process. There's so much you can do with the geography of things. It's wonderful. You could do a whole geography course just on the geography of things, and they're going to learn physical geography and human geography, political geography. There could be laws about environmental laws related to the zinc mining for galvanizing metal rods in Cleveland, Ohio. There's so many things you can do, and I strongly recommend you exploring all those possibilities. So this data is fixed. Now to fix this over here, it's as simple as clicking edit, and then the state is Victoria, Australia, and there's a description. Now there's so many things we can do here with this. Now this is trampoline padding. I think over here in Texas, I found there's in Tomball, there's this is polyethylene nets. Okay, so if we wanted to change the style of the icons, okay, we can go. Let's see. I have to zoom in here. Can I move this out of the way? I'm in the way. Imagine that, right? And do a custom icon. We're going to go, not Google Drive, we want to go to image search and polyethylene, there's probably a Y in there, right? Net, see what comes up. Alright, so it's one of these. Let's go with this one. Select it, and it's going to be our icon. So instead of having a just stock map point, we now have a custom icon. Okay, it's pretty cool, isn't it? So if you're looking for nets, you can visually see that there it is. We put both of them together. We can customize all of these icons and make more sense of it so that you can clearly see what the product is before you click on it. Okay, otherwise you have to go through metal rods, galvanized steel rods. You have to kind of click through everything to figure out what it is. So I'm going to actually have the students do that part for the rest of this map, and even let them add some images, right? So this is galvanized steel rods. They can search for images, upload their own images, and actually add another field here for the image source. We want to be able to make sure that we're adding images, but we're also adding the source of that image. Give credit where credit is due. Now to add more, like another field here, pretty sure, nope, they haven't changed that. It's not there. Let's see, go away. I think it's going to be over here. Let's just say it's, yeah, right here. Open the data table, and this is where we can, let's see, probably this one, insert a column after, right? So we're going to go to the end and insert a column after, and we'll just do image source, right? You also want to do this for let's see, not that one. You also want to add the image. There it is. There's no value. They can edit this right here if they want to. And it'll be on all the points for that particular one. If you have to add it to this one as well. You also want to do the description source as well, which there we go. We have more skills to teach these kids. Maps are great. Maps are great for all classes. You can map out stories. You can use maps in science class, math class, English language arts. Obviously, social studies works great. You can use maps everywhere. After all, I mean, everything can be mapped. Um, Laws, uh, obviously physical geography, but you can also map out plots of stories and different places people went, or reflections, places students traveled. They're reading a story and they come up with an example of from the story, a text-to-text reference, and they do a text-to-self reference, or that might take them to another place in the world or the country. And this is a great place to store all that stuff. It could be an interactive journal through My Maps. Okay, so this is just a reflection on what we've done here. I think in the future I might do better scheduling with my colleague. We might also, um, yeah, really just the scheduling. I mean, it's our both of us. It was our first time. You hear a lot about people collaborating across state lines, across the country, across the world, and the best way to do it is to just get started. The time for anything that's that important is now. So thanks for watching, and please share any projects that you've done, some suggestions, some experience that you might have, or questions in the comments below, or on the blog post in which you might have found this video. Thanks.